Okay, Auburn fans, we're getting closer and closer to the Texas A&M game down in College Station. There's a few things that we might be overlooking in this particular game. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger, War Eagle. Now, when Auburn takes the field Saturday afternoon with Texas A&M, there are going to be a few factors that I don't think we've really touched on for real. A lot of the sports analysts are really kind of dancing around this, is the fact that you're going to have two true freshmen that are going to play a very pivotal part in how this game plays out. On Auburn's side, of course, you have Bo Nix, the Herald quarterback out of Alabama, five-star recruit, Pinson Valley High School, has garnished every award possible for a quarterback coming out of high school. Very celebrated, Under Armour All-Star game, blah, blah, blah. Has already played in 3 games, won a very, very interesting game against Oregon where he struggled mightily in the first half and then wound up coming up with the game-winning touchdown to Seth Williams late in that particular game. But the question I have is this. What happens in between the heroics for Bo Nix as he takes his first trip to an SEC, in SEC territory, hostile territory, going to be well over 100,000 folks there, plus to see this particular football game, which, by the way, will be the most pivotal game up to date, could possibly eliminate one of the two out of the SEC race, because when you really look at it, it's not much room for error after that. And for Auburn, a team who has recruited okay for the last few years compared to Texas A&M, if I'm looking at this from a broad perspective, this is one of those games that Gus Malzahn absolutely has to win. Because when you look at what you got LSU, you got Alabama, you got Georgia. Those are 3 games that more than likely, I'm talking about more than likely, you're going to be favored to lose. I'm talking 60-40, 70-30. When you look at that little ESPN predictor, Auburn is not going to be favored to win. I don't care how undefeated, how well they're playing. They're just not going to be favored to win those 3 games. Could win them, but just not going to be favored to win them for a lot of reasons. Jerry Jeudy for Alabama is one of them. DeAndre Swift from Georgia is one of them. And then you look at all the weapons at LSU. Those are just going to be hard games to win for Auburn. Not saying that they can't, but just looking at it from the outside, looking in, just hard games to just say, if you're doing the predicting, okay, Auburn's going to win this game 30-17. Not going to happen. But back to, talking about Auburn going against Texas A&M and Bo Nix's role in this game. How comfortable is he now with this offense? How comfortable is he continuing what Gus Malzahn started to kind of show against Kent State? Started to show a lot more variation. Had 3 guys with 100-plus yards in that game. Joey Gatewood, Sean Shivers, and Boobie Whitlow. If Auburn by chance can duplicate that with the leadership of Bo Nix, Auburn should win this football game. Because when you look at it, experience, talent, and just, overall gameplay as far as, experience, I think Auburn has a slight edge here. Because you have guys who have been on Auburn's team since 2015, 16, 17, 18. Those guys are starting to overlap. You even have Derek Brown, who returned. You have Nick Cole. You have Marlon Davidson. Also, a lot of folks overlook the fact that Jeremiah Denson and, Daniel Thomas, all those guys coming back, they have a wealth of experience. And the offensive line being around since the 2016 recruiting class. So, with all of this in mind, Bo Nix's level of confidence and level of ability to execute against a very, very talented defense led by Inabuke for Texas A&M will be very, very interesting to see how much more comfortable week 4 is Bo Nix in actually taking the realm and running this offense in the way that Gus Malzahn plans to run this offense moving forward. A lot of folks even garnish the whole thing of, well, maybe you should give Joey Gatewood a try. In my honest opinion, though, Bo Nix just has not done anything at this point to lose the job. You know what I'm saying? Like he hasn't. I understand, you know, from a preferential standpoint, Joey Gatewood maybe should get a look. But when you look at the totality of circumstance, Bo Nix hasn't done anything to lose the job. He hasn't thrown an interception since the Oregon game, where he threw 2, which is a whole nother point. Can Bo Nix play turnover free against a ranked Power 5 team? He couldn't do it against Oregon. 2 interceptions, almost lost a fumble there early in the first half. Can he protect the football against high-level Power 5 defensive competition? That's going to be a huge key for this particular game. Can he connect on the long balls that are wide open that Gus Malzahn dials up? That's going to be another factor. Will the receivers actually catch the ball when he throws it? That's another factor. Can Boobie Whitlow get going? He does run the ball relatively well on the perimeter, but can he get going? Can he be that bell cow running back that runs for 100 yards and then you supplement it with, say, Cam Martin, Shaun Shivers, and a guy we've yet to see, DJ Williams? Okay? So those are all factors. When you look at Auburn coming into this game, how open will this offense be, and how willing is Gus going to be to open this offense up with Bo Nix' first road game in the SEC, 12th man, 100,000+ folks. You know, Texas A&M, they yell "gig 'em" down there. There's some history behind that, but we won't go into that right now. Speaking of the Aggies, though, this is going to be a huge factor in my opinion. You know, Jadian Corbin went down, starting running back, goes down with a season-ending injury. He was going to be a big part of this because Travion Williams seemed like he had been at Texas A&M forever. He kind of reminds me of Josh Renfro. They say Josh Renfro makes a winning touchdown, but it's like, what is he still doing there? Dude's been there since like 2014. Travion Williams the same way. Been around the program for a while, made a good name for himself, now playing in the NFL. He leaves. Now you got Corbin there, Jaden Corbin, and it's like this. He goes down with a season-ending injury, but who's the next guy up? Very, very questionable for the running game for Texas A&M. Not only are you having to rely on a true freshman running back, but you're also relying on a true freshman running back who didn't have the opportunity to participate in spring football. He didn't early enroll. So guess what? That means he's coming right out of the gate, more than likely not in the physical condition that it takes to survive in the rigors of the SEC. Looking at him on video footage, he's actually pretty good. Not astoundingly elite, but pretty good. Questionable speed. He's actually sneaky fast, but he's not like, say, Shaun Shivers fast. Or he's not like, say, Ontario McCaleb fast. Even Michael Dyer from back in the day with Auburn in 2010, he's not that kind of fast. But the reason why I bring this up is because the last thing that Texas A&M wants to do coming into a game like this where Auburn understands that this is one that they have to have. You don't want to come into this thing one-dimensional. And when you think about it, Auburn has not allowed a running back all year, including C.J. Verdell from Oregon, has not allowed a running back to run over 100 yards all year. They've been pretty good on run defense. So if Auburn is able to contain the run game for Texas A&M, I think this could be a little bit of a problem for Texas A&M, relying solely on Kellen Mond, who's going to be heavily pressured, by the way, especially if the run game can't get going. And that's when Kellen Mond tends to make a lot of mistakes, especially against Auburn. Last year, threw probably one of the most costly interceptions of his career to Noah Igbenogany late in the middle of the third quarter. I love that play. That's why I keep talking about it. But anyway, how can Isaiah Spiller, a 4-star recruit out of Texas, how can he rise to the occasion and give Texas A&M a chance to have a balanced offense? is going to be a huge question going into this game. And we're going to learn about this real soon, as kickoff is at 2:30 tomorrow, Central Time for all my folks from from Alabama on back to Texas, and Eastern Time 3:30 for all my folks from certain parts of Alabama. As a matter of fact, I think a part of Lynette, Alabama, which is right at the Georgia line, that's where the Eastern Standard Time actually starts, all the way back to the Atlantic Ocean. That game is going to start at 3:30 for you. Once again, it's Kennard Vernon Stewart here for the podcast. Just wanted to point some things out. As always, it's great to be an Auburn Tiger. Go ahead and like this video, comment, and subscribe to Vernon Speak Sports. Really appreciate the subscriptions, the comments, and also hope you guys who are actually going to the game have a very good time and be safe. Kennard Vernon Stewart signing out here for the podcast once again. War Eagle.